Okay, we're gonna start by separating, just grouping these different colors together. Okay, I thought the blue was gonna be a little difficult, but there's rocks on the bottom, and the water, and the sky doesn't have rocks and water. So why Banff, Canada? Well, this was my friend Tessa. She was celebrating her birthday and she invited me on this trip. She already knew that's where she wanted to go when she invited me, so I was down for it. I saw pictures. She showed me pictures online and I thought, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Let's do it. Now, it did take a little bit for me to think about it, but I mean, it wasn't too hard, right? I told my husband about it and he said, this is right up your alley. So of course I had to do it. And this is an easy trip to do in like a 5 days. So we flew out there on Thursday and flew back on Monday. And unfortunately you can't see it very well here, but my luggage, it's like a rolling small duffel bag. And my friend Tessa thought she was amazed that I packed for those days in that small bag because she had a whole full size tall luggage that I think came up to like my waist. So apparently I'm a great packer. And the funny thing is that the month prior, or maybe the month after, I took a trip to California for my job where Tessa and I worked together, and I stayed at her place for a week, and I took the same luggage with a small carry-on, and not carry-on, but a personal bag. So I had my duffel bag and a small personal bag, and again, she was super impressed that I could pack for a whole week with professional clothes and hangout clothes, if you will, in that bag. First thing we did when we got there was go to the grocery store, of course. Got a few things, just make sure we had breakfast and a couple of other things. That's my religious breakfast, like I call it. Waffle, blueberries, black coffee. And I've been having that breakfast for 3 or 4 years now. This is our Airbnb. There's my little personal bag there on the floor. This is where we stayed. Very nice place. Located in Dead Man's Flat. About 30 minutes from Banff. Look at that. Just all around, beautiful mountains, everywhere you look. Don't you take a picture of the bathroom wherever you stay? And as if the backdrops of the lakes and mountains is not beautiful enough, look at this rainbow. We started to see it forming on the right-hand side, and then it became a whole double rainbow. How beautiful is that? Super cool. We watched that rainbow from birth all the way through adulthood. Okay, one of the things I normally do for little vacations, I like to make shirts. And this is a shirt that I made for the three of us. And I did surprise Tessa with this. So Banff babes, yes, because the alternative was another B word Tessa had in mind. Now for my packing, some of the things that I got was I actually bought hiking boots. I'm not much of a hiker. You will hear a story about that later. But I got me some hiking boots, some hiking socks, which is probably a scam. I don't know, but they were comfortable. I was afraid that because I don't actively hike or do much exercise, I was afraid that my feet were going to hurt if I didn't have nice, thick, comfortable hiking specific socks. So I bought me a couple of hiking shirts. Yeah, because like I said, I knew we were going to hike. But one of the things during the planning, we're in a group chat or messaging, and said she said something about sleeping in one day, and then Tessa was talking about taking naps during the day, and I like to be on the go whenever I vacay. I like to be out and about. I like to go tour the area, do activities, all that good stuff. But come to find out, good thing that what sleeping in was still early in the day, getting up early in the day, but it's because she's normally up super early in the morning. And then but Tessa's naps kind of worked out because it just worked out the way that our day was structured, where we had time in between activities to go back to our Airbnb and get some rest. But the real funny thing is that during the planning phase, it says, hey, what are you guys doing? Is there something you guys can do Saturday morning? I am doing, there's a running race going on. I would do a 10K if it's not too much trouble. So, so homegirl was signing up for a whole 10K during a 4-day vacay. I got such a kick out of that. So that's the time when Tessa and I did our e-bike tour. So it worked out very well for all of us. But even funnier was the fact that as we were doing our tour, our bike tour, we saw her running, doing her race. And she actually got, I think it was second or third place. On top of that, she also, the following day on Sunday, she also signed up for a bike tournament. She signed up for a bike tournament as well. I mean, that's crazy. I think that is so funny. I just get such a kick out of that. I traveled with someone on a 4-day weekend, 4-day, 5-day vacation, who was signing up for a 10K and a bike race. She obviously is a runner. And she does bicycle racing as well. And if you're wondering, the reason I find all of that so funny is because I don't do much running. I don't do bicycle. And I just all around don't work out much. So yeah, I just think it's hilarious. I don't do it like basically no day of my life. And it's over here doing it during 4-day vacations. So aside from the tours and the adventures, Banff is considered like a resort town. But I mean, it's still enjoyable. I know some people kind of look down on those touristy towns, but they are enjoyable. You do get to experience a little something different. That damage, that was from a restaurant we were in, and that's how they brought us the check. I thought that was cute. And I think this is the only food picture that I took aside from Lake Agnes. This may have been when we went to get our little bikes, or when we went to meet up at the little bike shop for our bike tour. This here is the Banff Fairmont Springs Hotel in the area, and our tour guide, this was during our e-bike tour, and she told us how initially there was an error on the architect's part, and the hotel was built backwards, like completely backwards, where the back was facing the front. Now, if I remember correctly, she said that they tore it down and rebuilt it, which obviously is a huge expense. But when I look online, what I find is that it was decades later, it burned, and they built it then properly. So I'm not sure what the story is, but super interesting nonetheless. And while looking online, I also found that there's a legend that there was also a haunted room in the hotel because there was a murder there. But again, you can't believe everything you read online. I don't remember our tour guide saying anything about a murder. So there's that. Okay, we're about at the end of this episode. And on the next episode, we are going to talk about the Lake Louise in particular and the hike to Lake Agnes Tea House. So make sure you tune in to Lake Louise, episode 3. I'll see you there.